All right, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. See, people are coming in. Want to make sure we got everyone in so we can get this thing going. It is Thursday, November 3rd in Kitsap County. I am Marwan Cameron. This is the Conduit Network. Appreciate all of you joining. Please share the video. Thank you, Rob. Good morning to you. Super easy. The Conduit. YouTube now has new handles. Subscribe at the Conduit. All right. As we know, our Bremerton High School volleyball girls are going through it. And they have not had an opportunity to have their voices heard. There's a lot of information going on. There's articles in the Sun. But the girls have not been able to speak, have their voices elevated. So what you are going to hear today is an audio recording of three of the girls that were at the volleyball game and were in the middle of this incident. And also their parents. Okay, so their parents were in attendance. So you're going to hear from both the children and from the parents. I'm going to play this through. I probably will not pause it. And then I will provide some exposition on the other end of it. As I said, please share the video out so that their voices can be elevated, as it is definitely important. I'll go ahead and put the link to the actual show and not just the channel. So there that is. Let's go ahead and get into it. One of the things that you will hear the girls say is they are tired of having to tell the story over and over again. And so one of the purposes I hope to gain out of elevating their voices is that for those that are interested into what happened, they can be referred to the video so that they don't have to, the kids don't have to continue to relive it and tell the story over and over and over again. And so you will hear them ask that as a request. And so I am asking on their behalf that you honor that. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this audio here.
Hallway, and there's like a seating area on the opposite side of the bathroom, and that's where they were sitting at. And so you can see them from inside the bathroom, like looking out the door of the bathroom. And so probably like 6 feet away from each other, the bathroom and the where they were sitting at. And then the door is probably like around the corner another 10 feet from where they were sitting at. So the whole time, like everybody's like going back and forth. The boys are like, now they're standing up, the parents is standing up, everybody's just going back and forth in like this small boxed hallway.
So this is after the game has happened, and she is commenting on what transpired there. So I'm gonna go ahead and recap it, and let's keep it going.
Until it went outside.
All right, so kind of just taking it from the top, you come in like it's just a regular day. You're here to play the game in North Mason. You're playing the game during the second set. That's when the monkey sounds are being called. Some of the girls heard it, some of the girls didn't. You guys played through it, and at the end, you looked for your coach to let them know what was going on. You couldn't find the coach. You ended up speaking with their AD. Correct?
RAD.
Your AD, correct so far? And then you ended up in the bathroom. And while you were in the bathroom, another student came up and said, "Hey, these boys are out here uh, to do whatever they're going to do. It ain't good." And you guys decide, "Hey, we just got to get to the team bus or the van." Uh, as you were saying, "Hey, we're out of town. We don't have support. Let's just get to the van." You come out, and immediately you're approached by the boys. Was there an incident where one of the boys was holding a cell phone and recording?
Yeah, but before that, there was one of the players, their libero on varsity. She came out of the school in her bag talking about she wanted to fight. So we told her if she wants to fight, then she can come outside and stop hiding behind the adults. And then that's when the adults had put their hands on my sister, and then me, my cousin, and our coach, the JV coach that was still there with us, we came and we like put them out of the way. And then that's when we turned around and the dude's recording. So,
Okay, so an adult put his hands on your sister. Was it a female or a male?
yeah, there was two of them, but one of them, like her hands were like spread out and was like putting her whole body on her. So that's when me and our coach just ran to her instead of the libero. There's no point of going to the libero.
Yeah, so there's a lot of like leading up to outside or inside to going outside. The arguing still maintained to happen with that one adult, which was the female who pushed Azalea. She was the main one arguing back and forth with all of us, saying that she was going to call the police. And when she said that, that's when I stepped up and I was like, as soon as a whole bunch of people of color try to stick up for themselves, you guys want to get the police involved. Like, what's the point of getting the police involved? They try to say that to intimidate us, but if you want to call the police, call the police. Like we're in that situation right now. And that's what all of us were saying. And so then the crowd just started getting like larger. Parents started getting out of their cars. Mind you, our JV coach at the time was still on the bus. And I heard on the like intercom from the bus, like, Bremerton girls varsity, make your way over to the bus. But the bus is like 60 feet away from us. Yeah. So we're literally fighting to get to the bus against all these people. We had nobody out there to support us.
So you're in between, they're in between you and the bus. Are they behind you also and on the side?
They
were everywhere.
Okay, it was when she came out to school, it was basically just all the varsity girls, and we were just talking back and forth with her. And then next thing you know, like just
North Mason,
a
the
lot of
whole
people
crowd
just
just
surrounded
came.
us.
Yeah, they were just really around. Like the entrance is, I don't know. There's like a there's stairs by the entrance, but there's like it's just a big space, like concrete area where all of us was mainly at, and we were going back and forth with the lady for a little. And next thing we noticed is a little after I got pushed, I turn around and I see a lot of people from North Mason just surrounding us, and not most of them's not necessarily like doing something; they're just watching. But there was some of them who were recording, and as our JV coach had got in the middle of us, trying to get us apart from North Mason, we were walking down the stairs, and the our cousin that was walking right behind me had seen the little boy um, recording, and I asked him before she approached him to stop recording because we don't want to be filmed. Like we didn't want to be on anyone's phone. But he didn't put the phone down. He sat there laughing, thinking that it was funny. And he wasn't the only person who was recording, but he was the only person's phone that was directly in our face. And so she walked up to him and told him to get his phone out of or his camera out of her face. And so she smacked his phone on the ground or out of his hand. There was a lady who came in between, because once she did that, he kind of like went towards her, and I
Shoved
don't
her.
necessarily know if he pushed her.
No, he shoved her.
Oh, well, he shoved her, and
That's when we had got up in his face and told him not to put his hands on her.
yeah, and then there was another lady who had came in between us and the boy, saying that, or she tried saying, yelling out that our cousin had slapped him or put her hands on him when she didn't. She just hit his phone out of his hand. And there was one of our teammates on our team. She has family members who go to North Mason, so she had a couple family that was there. And a little after the girl got in between us and the boy, they came and they were trying to settle us down and calm us down, and uh, just to get us away from North Mason. And right as that was happening, our team did calm down a little. And as we were kind of calming down and trying to walk away, North Mason was still cussing at us, saying a whole lot of words. And that's when the man had came out and started yelling.
He had said, if they're gonna act like animals, then we're gonna treat them like animals.
And everybody just was like,
Yeah,
looked at each other.
everyone stopped.
Even North Mason parents were surprised that
He had
somebody
even
had said that.
And then that's when, like, a few seconds after everybody got quiet, everyone just started yelling again because of what he had said. Like, that caught us by surprise and was so disrespectful.
And at this time, like, my teammates were still in the crowd, but I started making my way towards the bus because I seen other parents like going to their cars and stuff. And once he had came out and said that, I'm like, anything can happen right here. Like, I need to go get someone else. Like, I thought maybe another parent was gonna go to their car and grab a weapon or something. So I started making my way towards the bus so I could go get somebody else.
I'm only pausing because that's a lot to hear and a lot more for you to experience. So the statement was, if they're going to act like animals, we're going to treat them like animals. And at this point, you're surrounded. You said, what, 7 to 11 girls? How many girls at this time? 5 girls?
5 to 7. And we had our big pink shirts on, so we had these bright pink shirts on. And so like you could tell who was from Bremerton and who
Yeah.
wasn't. Like we were very spotted out in a group of 30 plus people, adults and kids combined all together.
So when the adult put hands on a child, how did that interaction stop? How far did that go?
It didn't go far at all, actually. She just, because I was going towards the door, and as I was trying to go to the door, she came out of nowhere and she had her arms out right in front of me, saying um, not to go back inside the school. And as she was coming up to me, I asked her to don't put her hands on me, to just stay on like over there where she was standing. And I still was walking because I didn't think that she was gonna come up onto me. And she put her arms together and right in front of like her chest and was physically like just pushing me back. And that's when my sisters and my coach actually, that's when she
She had
arrived
ran
at
from
it.
the
Yeah,
bus.
that's right after she had ran from the bus and seen that the lady was right, like really close, all up in my face. And our coach and my sisters, that's when they got in the middle of me and the lady.
I'm going to pause there. The girls did not want to be recorded video. It was already hard enough to tell their story. But what they were describing from the adult mother was she had her arms out like this, you know, and so that was how they described it. And so we can see in, or we have seen in many conflicts, folks want to, come on, what's up? And then she said that she put her arms up like this and was pushing against her. So I just wanted to add context there.
And tried telling her not to put her hands on kids.
Mind you, this is not our head coach. Our head coach left the game. This is our JV coach that was taking care of C team and JV. She happened to look outside the bus because she was the one on the intercom calling us to the bus. She happened to look outside the bus and seen a big mob of people. And as I was walking towards the bus, she was sprinting at full speed towards us to stop everything that was happening. But she was the only one from Bremerton School District that was over there in that moment.
And was the woman that put her hands on you, was someone pushing her from behind, or was she just there by herself?
It was just her.
And she kind of had her arms like this and
Yeah.
just pushed forward to push you back
She had it like this at first in front of me.
out
and-
wide, like she
yeah.
was gonna hug you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I still was walking towards the school.
Well, there was another one that was with the lady that was pushing her. They were like this close together, just like pushing up against her. But it was mainly the one that had her arms spread out.
So was she like almost like a chest bump?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then as I was walking closer to the door, that's when she put her arms like this in front of her chest and was walking towards me.
All right. So at that time, simultaneously, Soraya is going to the van. The JV coach is in a full sprint forward. Your sister's trying to protect you. Others are trying to protect you and jump in. What happens at that time?
After that was when the whole incident with the phone happened. And then after that was that one adult saying what he said. And like everybody else just started going back and forth, yelling. And then we all just got tired of it and just walked to the bus. And as we were walking to the bus, they were still yelling and stuff like that. It was just annoying at that point.
But our coach was just like, go to the bus. Our coach was just screaming over all of us. Like, she was just saying, you guys know how it is out here. Like, just go to the bus. We know they're racist. Go to the bus. She was just trying to make sure that we were safe. And she felt really bad that she wasn't there at the start of this situation because of how North Mason is. So there was some cuss word exchange in there. But she was just trying to protect us and get us on the bus. Mind you, it's only one of her and how many of us?
Yeah, we can't really blame her for not being there at the start of it because she was taking care of JV and some of C team that went.
How many people would you say were surrounding you guys?
Too many to count.
Say 30 plus.
Yeah, I gotta say 30 plus.
Okay.
Like everywhere
it
I
was
looked.
just adults around us, and then behind them were like literally all the teenagers that were talking.
Parents,
That's what I didn't get
students.
is why you're gonna talk all that smack, but don't come up and like defend yourself. We were literally going at it with adults. It was
They kind of
stupid.
transitioned from kids to adults on kids.
Yes. At that point, they weren't even acting like adults. They were acting like kids. The way they were coming at us, like
So after the pushing happened, then folks got in the middle of it, tried to break it up. Then the camera came out, the phone came out from one of the boys, and words were exchanged. Do you know what any of those words were? Do you remember?
with the boy.
With the boy that she would knock his phone after him.
Oh.
Like, what were you guys saying in that moment?
After he had pushed our cousin, we went up in his face and told him, "Don't put your hands on her." And then after we said that, there was this one mom. It was his girlfriend's mom that had got in between us and was like, she put her hands on him first, and we were just going back and forth with her, but we weren't touching the mom because we're not going to touch an adult that has nothing to do with it. But then
We
her
wouldn't
daughter,
touch an adult in general.
duh. But her daughter had came up too and was like, "Don't put your hands on her mom." Da da da. Da. After she said that, we all like calmed down for a second because that's her mom. And then like after that, that's when the dude said what he said, and everybody else got quiet too.
So when I'm going to go back in a minute, but when you started to go to the van after the guy says, if you're going to act like an animal, I'm going to treat you like an animal, everyone got silent, then it started getting loud again, and you just started making your way to the van. Were
Yeah.
you obstructed at all? Were you having to walk around people? Like, how did you get to the van?
No.
The bus.
No, we didn't really have to walk around people because like everybody was just like spread it out at that point, and like was just slowly making their way back to their own cars. And so we just got in our varsity has just got in our group and just walked together. So we were just walking straight to the bus instead of around people.
And then you got on the bus.
Yeah.
Who was last on the bus? The JV coach?
Uh, Out of the team, it was me and then the JV coach.
But then she stepped off the bus again because she made a phone call to our AD because our AD was at the soccer game. Because our girls team was also playing at North Mason as well. We usually travel together, so she was at the soccer game. So our JV coach stepped outside the bus. She was like panicking and stuff like that, but she needed to call the AD to tell her what just happened.
I want to be accurate when I ask you this question. Uh, the person who is running for sheriff out there said that he talked to the boys, and what the boys said was that one of the boys or another boy liked one of the players on your team and urged them to get her. I take it you guys have all spoken since the incident. Was there a boy that allegedly liked one of you, and that's what you thought? Is that what you think was happening?
No.
That never crossed my
Not at
mind
all.
once.
No.
Those
No.
boys are childish.
I feel like the whole like thing was try to cover up what you did and what you said.
Because none of us don't know anyone from North. Well, we know people from North Mason, but the group of boys that we've seen and we got into it with, we don't know none of them
Most of them
at all.
Most of them in that group have a girlfriend, so that would not make sense.
So you get home. What happened that night and the days after?
Not even get home on the bus.
On the bus. Okay.
Yeah. So after our JV coach calls the AD comes over, and that's when a few of my teammates get off the bus because they're trying to tell her what just happened and confused where she was at because she was in the game and then she left. And that's when she told them to get back on the bus because I was looking outside the window. I was like yelling outside the window. I was like, "Where were you? Like, this just happened. They're trying to lie on us." And she was basically like, "Get on the bus. I'm going to get their statements. I need to go over there." And we were confused because we're like, "This just happened to us. What are you going to get their statements for? Like, we're your team. You should be worried about what's going on with us first." And so I think a lot of us were like flabbergasted that she had even said that to us, and we were just confused of what was going on because now it's just a waiting game, and we're just talking to each other, and we're just like, we can't believe this is just happening. And at that time, I think that's when you guys had called your mom and you were telling her what happened.
Yeah, some of us, some of the girls on our varsity had gotten the phone while our AD was trying to get North Mesa's statements and see what, or see their side of the story, or hear their side of the story, I guess. But some of the people on our varsity team, that's when most of us were getting on the phone. We're getting on the phone with their parents to tell them what happened.
All right. Are you guys okay? Do you want to take a break? You want to keep going?
Okay.
Alright.
Want to eat a couple pieces of pizza and keep going? No? Keep going?
Keep going.
Parents in the room, were any of you at the event? No? Okay.
No, I don't receive the phone calls.
So I'll have you guys jump in toward the end. So you spoke about what happened in the van. So what happened, that night and days after?
Also leaning to the back, like the bus ride on our way back to the school. We're just all talking about what just happened because we were kind of in shock that we just had to go through that. Also, one of our players, the main player that was like being antagonized during the whole game and being picked on, and the one that the boys supposedly wanted to jump and supposedly liked, got 5 ads on Snapchat from 5 boys that go to North Mason. One of the boys being the one that was saying the most stuff to her and who said that they liked her because we looked up his name off of Snapchat from Instagram and we could see the pictures and we're like, yeah, that's him.
Can we
But
say his name?
I don't know his name. But he texted her saying, what's up, with like a winky face emoji. And I was just like, screenshot that because he's playing games right now. Like he's trying to be funny. And then the next Snapchat was, how was your night?
Yeah, I actually have a video of one of his snaps that he sent her.
Yeah, saying, how was your night? Knowing you knew everything that just happened. And now you're texting her.
Can we say his name?
Yeah.
Well, his name's Avery Dunn, which I don't get why he would send that to Lalo or even add her on Snap. Because that's just stupid. Like, everything they had just done was childish and, like, it was dumb.
So
And
you
for
have
him
to
to do all that was even more stupid of him.
explain Snapchat to me. I'm old. So how did you say
Ad.
ad? So how does he find someone? How do you find someone on Snapchat?
We don't know how he found her,
We don't
but
know.
Lala assumed that because there was this one girl that goes to North Mason that she had added from before, and I guess she sent her snap to them.
Also on the team, when you go to school, they will have a list of the names of the kids, what grade they're in, and what height they are sometimes, and then what positions that they play.
Gotcha.
So I mean, it would be readily, easily available, and they knew her number and had been calling her number the whole time.
Mhm.
So.
All right, so I'm going to say this, for the mic. Shay, you're going to have to grab a mic because none of that picked up. So what Shaylin was saying is that you can look up player profiles, and there's lots of ways to get information of other students. Was there any response from your friend back to him, or did she just ignore it?
She just opened it and ignored it.
And we took pictures and videos of it because we knew this was him further harassing her. And I felt as if this could be like more evidence to that. So I told her not to reply and just take videos and pictures of it so that we would have that.
Oh wait. Okay, so the first time, the night that the situation happened, he did message her twice. He messaged her the first time, she opened it, left him on scene. He's seen that she left him on scene, but still wanna send her another snap that same night. And she left him on scene again until the next day while we were at school. Um, he had messaged her. I don't know if it was a snap or a message, but he had messaged her again, and that's where she was like tired of it. And she said one thing to him, and then that's when I think she blocked him off all social medias. Right after she sent a message, which but I don't remember what was said.
After he had sent the second snap, she said, "I don't know you. I don't know why you added me or texted me. Can you excuse yourself?" I don't know if he had said anything after that.
After that, okay. What do you want people to know? I want to start with you, Zariah, and we'll just kind of go down. Zariah, Angel, and Azalea.
Um, with all the other articles being put out, I just want people to hear both sides of the stories before they decide they chose a side, and that if you weren't there, you can't speak on what really happened because we are the only ones that had to face what happened that night and are being affected by that every day because we're always being questioned about what happened. Um, I just want people to know that it's real. It's not made up. We're not lying. We're living in our truth now, having to talk about this every day. So, yeah.
I want people to know the truth. Like I see that they're saying that we lying about things. I don't get why we would lie about this. There's nothing to lie about here. And I agree with what Zariah had said.
Angel, same thing.
That's Azalea.
Azalea?
Oh yeah.
What would you like to see happen?
I feel like same thing adding to number two. I just want the truth to be told because 10 people asking us what happened and to repeat the story is not doing anything clearly. And so I just hope something happens. I don't know what that is, but something.
I would like the questions to be stopped. I get that people just want to know what happened or anything. Like when you're in that situation, there's just too many questions. Is not you have no motive or energy to answer them no more.
All right, so I'm going to pause there just for a second. I think that's one of the a very important piece of this audio here is the girls are requesting to not have to answer questions over and over and over again. And I know that we want to support them, and in order to do that, we need to have some context, right? Well, what happened? What's going on, right? There's this, we have concern. Um, but as the girls have requested, please just submit this video to whoever is inquiring and wants to know, so they don't have to continue to live through it over and over and over again. Uh, Again, for many of these students, this is their senior year, and they need to have a senior year. They should be enjoying their year, not having to deal with this. Let's continue.
She agrees.
What would you like to see happen for your lower classmen and future students?
Um, it's not on the students. I could say that. It's on the administration. It's on those who are supposed to be protecting us. They need to stop sending us there because this has not just happened this one time. Through reading Facebook comments, I've seen parents from Bremerton School District that have been telling their stories of their students that they've had to move out of that district. So it needs to be up to our school districts to say, like, this isn't right. Either there's going to be full administration at our games when we're going out there, or we're going to stop playing these teams.
We agree with Zariah.
What would you like to see happen with Mason School District?
Accountability, not just trying to push a narrative that it's our fault. Take accountability for what you did, state the truth, state the facts. You guys have it on video. We don't. What you can get out of that, put that out there.
I would like to see them own up to the truth and what they did.
Do you want any consequences outside of them owning up to it?
Mm.
And
Well,
I ask it this way because what you're stating in regards to accountability, let's say they say, okay, yes, these things happened. There were monkey noises. We take back everything that we said. There were monkey noises. The kids were inappropriate. There were some adult mothers that pushed on children. This got way out of hand, and we apologize. Will that be good enough, or should there be some consequence, and what would that consequence be for Mason County?
I don't know if it's for Mason County as a whole, but for the students,
Yeah, for the school.
because if the roles were reversed, we would already be suspended and out of school for a period of time. And it's not even just about the monkey paws too, because there's other things that were said that were highly inappropriate. Just like if somebody goes through the free throw line, they shouldn't have to worry about people barking at them. That's actually an illegal call. So when we're going to serve, we shouldn't be hearing that we suck or, oh no, she's aiming at us. Like, that's disrespectful. The school district needs to hold, like, um, watch their kids during these games. And another thing to add on to this, why wasn't our game recorded? But when I go on NFHS, every other game that they have played was recorded.
Mm.
They also need to put their football boys in check and put them in their place because none of that would have happened with the other team, their volleyball team. We did not have no beef or drama between them. We all kept it cool. But coming from the boys, that's out of line.
What do you want to see happen with Bremerton School District? What would you like them to do?
I don't know.
Honestly, Bremerton needs to step up with everything. Coaches, how they're handling things, it's everything's going downhill with them.
Yeah, and they're saying that they're doing things. And I remember the first day I took a statement, but like, where did that even go? Was it just written on a piece of paper? Because why is North Mason putting out this article saying just from their perspectives? And what is our school district doing by just asking us questions constantly? Like, we need more than that. And I know they think that they're doing something. Maybe they are, and I don't see it, but it needs to come into the light because the small stuff that's happening, North Mason is still winning at the end of the day because it's Bremerton against everybody else around them.
The fact that we're saying that they need to step up and they're not doing anything is telling them like they're not communicating with the students nor with the parents. And out of all people, they especially need to communicate with the parents and let them know what's going on and what needs to be done or something like that.
So is it fair to say that you guys are kind of in the dark? You don't know what's happening right now?
Yeah.
Wow.
And this whole situation because our parents had the intention of sending us just like to any other game, thinking that we're going to be safe, we're going to be protected, and that was completely failed. And this is a prime example of it. And so all the administration from Bremerton School District, even though they weren't there, should still be held accountable as well to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Parents, can I ask you to go to the front so you can join this conversation with your kids? Say what? No, the mic won't pick it up.
I was saying, can I bring one of the mics here? Jeannie, you sit over there, I'll sit over here. All right.
Again, this is our interview with three of the girls from Bremerton High School that had this experience at North Mason High School. They are telling their story, living in their truth, sharing what happened chronologically. And, you know, I want to kind of transition to the parents for a second. Regina, Shaylin, and McCoy's here also. Can you just tell us, when did you first hear from your kids what was transpiring?
Let me go first.
And what were you feeling? You might actually need to pick up the mic just because you're a little bit further. But
Oh, and I have this mask on. Can you hear me?
hell yeah.
Okay. So I'm sitting at home, just relaxing, knowing that games are over, usually right around 8-ish. And I know I have to pick Soraya up from school. You know, just like we always do, we pick the girls up after their game when the bus gets back. Well, I get a phone call and it's Soraya, and I can hear, you know, I won't say a commotion, but I hear the bus, right? And at any given time, you know, the girls could be laughing and talking or anything. So Zariah just goes into, hey, mom, Something just happened. It was crazy. It was wild. I had to argue with this lady. And the whole time I'm in my head, like, I know they're in North Mason, right? And so I instantly went into a little panic mode just because I know of other things that have happened out there with my child. My 26-year-old son played 4 years of athletic for Bremerton School District and heard of stories. There were times when we knew we had to go to games and things like that just to have a presence. Her whole goal was to calm me, tell me what happened, but calm me down because I was ready to get in my car and drive. I was ready to call my god brothers and have them meet me there, right? And her goal was to just tell me what happened, let me know that she was safe and that the other girls were safe and that she was going to call me once she got back to, closer to Bremerton to let me know to come and pick her up. Well, I was trying to evade that, and she knew that I was trying to get down the road. So that was her big thing. I asked her once she, everything calmed down, and once the adults were in the space, because the time just kind of went by really, really quick, to call me back as she was leaving the school. Well, she chose not to do that. She knows her mother a little bit better than that. And she probably thought I would probably be on the road if I had enough timing and enough information from her. I did not leave. And I'm waiting for her to call me back, thinking that they're still at North Mason and, the situation is being documented or whatever's happening. She did tell me a little bit about what had happened, how they felt uncomfortable with the AD going and speaking with the other team first. And that, they took that as a sort of way. And then also when the AD came back to the bus, told part of the other boy's story. As if, if you're doing investigation, I don't need to hear what somebody else said they were doing and how they were doing. You're just taking in information. They didn't appreciate that, but I believe they've had time to tell her that. And so she's been had an opportunity to speak to them to that. But that was my first indication that something was happening. And then she called me when she was closer to the house, which I then was upset that she did not call me back when they were leaving North Mason. But I definitely understood. My child is very intuitive of other people and of me. And she knows that I care and that, me just being a mom, I would have gotten in my car and I would have come on down that road with no problem, and just the mere fact that she and the other girls had to argue with other adults. That's what I think took my heart so much, is that, not only did you have to fuss with the children, which we expect children to have conflict, but when you have adults jump in and be as ignorant, if not more ignorant than your children, we know exactly where they learn it from. And that's the reason why there was a statement, social skills are taught at home. Exactly. You taught them to act this way, and then you stand up for them in community, in front of your community. So it is what it is. And I don't have to lie. I stand by my child's statement, and she does not have to lie. I tell kids, tell me the truth, right? So that I can support you properly. And I can't fight a lie, right? And so I've taken time to make sure that they can have time with me during different times and share their truths, um, so that I can do whatever I can do to share with parents and having conversations, but also talking to the administration, because I had to be one of the first folks up there, just like Regina on Wednesday, the morning after. Um, so yeah, that was my first indication that something has happened. I received a phone call from Zariah on the bus.
Regina, can you tell me how did you first hear about this, and what were your feelings?
My daughter Azalea called, and I can hear in her voice that she's shaking and she's scared. Um, First thing I asked her was, where's her sister? Where's the team? Where are they at? And she said, on the bus. I said, okay, where's the AD and your coach, head coach? And they were nowhere to be found. And then I heard the AD come in, and she's yelling, trying to get statements from the other team. And then she comes back on talking about, I just saw the video shows that they were being aggressive towards Bremerton High School girls. Um, that's when she said they were getting ready to leave, and I told her, well, let us know when you get to Bremerton High, we can pick you guys up. She said they had a ride already, but the girls, they haven't been the same since that incident. You can tell by what happened.
What did you? First question is, so the AD acknowledged that something had actually happened, so she confirmed that.
Uh, from my understanding, hearing her over the phone was she was down by the soccer field. She ran back up after she got the call from, I think, the coach, and that she was gonna go and check on North Mason to see if they have proof or video of what happened of the altercation. And she came back on, and I heard her say that she did see the video, and it shows them being aggressive. So it shows North Mason being aggressive towards Bremerton High School. So
And none of the parents here in this room have seen that video.
I haven't seen the video.
No one's offered to share that video with you.
No, I learned on Friday that the NAACP, the principal, and someone else went out and viewed the video. Now, mind you, we were told in the beginning as parents that there was no video. So the video, well, we were told there was no video. Then there was video with no sound, and then the video was not of good quality. So we've heard everything from it not being recorded and that they don't have any, so nothing about outside, anything in the building. The game was definitely not recorded. That was one of those nights, and it was just, and no sound, right? And then that has definitely, supposedly, I have not seen a video, but supposedly there is a video. I don't know what that video looks like, and if it's very grainy and whatnot, how can you distinguish certain aspects versus another, especially when you don't have context because there's no video? So that's what kind of baffles me, is that we went from a stage, and mind you, me being a parent, I don't care who else has not heard that. And for somebody to say, well, I never heard that statement that there was no video, I'm telling you, I don't have to lie. And I'm giving you all the details that I have versus somebody who has created enough details to give you for you to come to a conclusion. Right. And so, like I said, if there is a video, what is the quality of the video? What does the video show? I have heard of a video where one of the players were attempting to go back in the school. I never knew who that was until tonight. Right. And so even details that I heard tonight are not complete details, because these young ladies have not had the opportunity until today to share their aspects of what they saw happen, what perceived danger, and how they interacted with not just regular folks, like teenagers who they should have been in, but actually adults and community members. So I have questions. I also know, we know that there was family members out there, and this person has made a statement.
So that is a lot to unpack there, but necessary. The context that, again, I will share here are the articles that were submitted. As I'm pulling this up, you heard the parents and the kids indicate that they feel like they're in the dark. They don't know what's going on. They feel like they're not in the loop. And that's definitely a concern. I wanted to make sure that I asked the questions in regards to what they wanted to see happen with Mason County School District, what they wanted to see in Bremerton School District, and how we could best advocate for them. I think sometimes we definitely make decisions for our children because we are adults, but it is important to have their perspective and their desires uh, honored and appreciated. So let me go ahead and pull this up here. And one of the things again that makes this bit so necessary is if we're looking here at the sun, and if you do a search here, I just put in Mason County. The articles that come up is Bremerton North Mason School investigating racial harassment at volleyball game. And then if you go down a little bit more, sheriff's investigation into the volleyball game disturbance finds no crime, no racism. And why this is important, again, and if we go to the investigation, and as I shared yesterday or a few days ago, right? The first article here was October 24th. Bremerton North Mason school district officials are investigating reports of racist harassment and intimidation of Bremerton students at the girls' volleyball game at North Mason High School last week. In two vaguely worded statements released Friday and Monday, neither district explained what alleged to have occurred at the October 8 match in Belfair, where North Mason won the match 3-0. Okay. This is actually in both articles, as you will see, and I'll respond to that when I read the second one again. Bremerton schools reported the incident occurred with a group of our student athletes. This is North Mason Schools Superintendent Dana Rosenbach clarified Tuesday the district is investigating allegations from Bremerton students that they were the victims of racist speech and actions. I would be heartbroken if we determined our students behaved in such a way, Rosenbach said. I would be disappointed if we determined our parents engaged in racist behavior, but we need to complete our investigation. That investigation apparently was completed the next day. Okay. Sheriff's investigation into volleyball crime disturbance finds no crime, no racism. So, first thing is the girls have indicated one of the mothers, an adult, assaulted them, put hands on her. It actually indicated that two of the adults put hands on her. I asked the girls, can they tell the difference between monkey noises and bulldog noises? And they shot me a look like, are you crazy? Of course. Mason County Sheriff's investigators looking into the allegations of racist harassment of Bremerton girls following a volleyball match in Belfair last week between Bremerton and North Mason high schools found no evidence of crime or racism. Now, as I read through this, and if those who were part of the podcast the other day or read this article, you know that there's no conversation with the victims, with the alleged victims, right? This is a concern. North Mason and Bremerton schools are also investigating the incident on October 18th, where North Mason won the match 3-0. I remarked a couple of days was odd. And this appeared in both. And to me, this serves as support for the Mason County in regards to, well, they're just sore losers. This is what the issue is. This seems very unnecessary, and it is really out of place in both articles. So this is painting a narrative, a very one-sided narrative, and coming up with some conclusions. Chief Ryan Sperling, who is running unopposed for sheriff, said Tuesday investigators determined now we've heard from the girls. This sounds a lot more than just a disturbance. We have a reported assault. We have verbal assault. We have children in danger, girls, and adults who are out of control. Chief Ryan Sperling, who is running unopposed for sheriff, said Tuesday investigators determined the disturbance for the match, but did not find a crime had been committed and did not find any evidence of racist conduct. Okay. So my question would be is what is the definition of racist conduct? Sperling said the office investigated whether students or others in the crowd made monkey noises, but were told the crowd was barking, a tradition for the school, with a bulldog as the mascot. Now, this started after the second period. Another allegation the office investigated was whether a group of boys had singled out the Bremerton player by number and urged another to get her with the allegation they intended to assault her. Okay. Sperling said an investigator questioned an involved male student, and the student said he and another male student liked. He said he or another male student liked the girl and that his friends were urging him to go talk to her. So this is the investigator speaking, right? So which one is it? The investigator questioned an involved male student, and the student said he or another male student. So which one did he say? That his friends were urging him to go talk to her. Talk to her, get her. Well, the girls described how they felt, what happened, what they experienced. They said it didn't sound like a teenage boy hitting on a teenage girl. And even if somehow that was the case in some wild, I don't know, Mason County courting culture, it's quite bizarre that it would escalate to the point that parents are laying hands on children. That parents are getting out of their cars and surrounding girls with bright pink t-shirts on. See, it just doesn't make sense. Sperling said an investigator questioned, I read that piece. That's what the kid's statement said, Sperling said. So something so vague, this is a quote here, right? So either I liked her or some other dude liked her. But you're talking to the actual guy. So either he's going to say, well, I liked her, or no, it was my friend. See how we're taking that as the gospel? Sperling said investigators did not tell the student the claim prior to interviewing him. Now, why was that important to provide that information? I need you to know, reporter, that we didn't tell the boy what had already previously been said, but noted that the accounts had been described on social media and the student could have tailored his statement. So you didn't say what was said, you just told him that there was some information on social media. And as I said the other day, kids are all up on social media, right? Everyone's on social media. They know what's going on, right? This has been swirling for weeks now. So instead of just questioning, oh, well, this is like throwing rocks and hiding your hands, right? Well, I didn't tell you what was said, but that stuff is out there on social media. So let me hear your side. And then I'm going to go ahead and accept this vague detail. But I haven't talked to the girls. I haven't talked to the parents. There's no quote from the AD here. The sheriff's office also investigated allegations that after the incident, parents of Bremerton students had threatened people associated with North Mason. Investigators found veiled threats posted on social media. Sperling said, such as the parents would accept going to jail by making statements like, we don't mind wearing orange. This is one of the most offensive pieces of this article. Because not only does it switch and say, hey, you know what the sheriff does have time for? Going and looking on social media and coming up with a narrative against the actual alleged victims. And then this is what is presented, and this is the end of the article. So we talked to the accused. There's nothing to see here. Oh, by the way, there's some, there's some veiled threats. So now these are veiled threats. That sounds like a potential crime. That sounds pretty negative. But up here, oh, it's a disturbance. Loud music is a disturbance. So understand, this is an issue. Understand that this is an issue because this is the first time that the girls have been able to have their story told and have their voice elevated. Whereas the accused have the sheriff's office, the Sun, supporting their narrative. The girls, again, have asked, they don't want to tell their story over and over and over again. The concern is this. The three girls that were in this interview, and it sounds like I may be interviewing more of the girls. I got a text while this was going on. But the three girls that were in the interview, they are equipment managers for the boys basketball team. And they will end up back in Mason County at Mason County High School to support boys basketball. And as stated, for many of these girls, this is their senior year. So how are we going to ensure that our girls are safe? How is Bremerton High School going to ensure that our girls are safe? How are we going to ensure that Mason County High School, Mason County School District is held accountable? How are we going to ensure that Mason County law enforcement is going to protect the citizens of Kitsap County? I shared with you, shout out to BSU, of older students who have since graduated and adults who have spoken about their experiences as athletes in Mason County. And that is why I believe it is necessary to boycott Mason County School District. The expenditures of time and resources to travel out, to play these games in this racist, hostile environment is unacceptable. The girls have asked. They want to know, how are they going to be safe? How are they going to be safe? And what's even more concerning is that the parents who many of us are in survival mode, so we're working while our kids are on their doing their extracurricular activities or in another county 45, 50 minutes away, and there's an incident and the parents come up to Mason County or they accompany children there. What could pop off with the adults? Are the adults safe in Mason County? Are they safe? These are huge issues that we have to make time for. And again, when people say, I can't believe this is happening, it's 2022. Well, we're less than 2 months from 2023. I read the article the other day, Washington to rename Mason County swamp for Black pioneer whose home is known by the racial slur. Okay? So when you think that this is, just a one-off, this is again October 18th. You can see it here. A Tahuya Slough, once named nigger, was farmed by a Black pioneer born into slavery. This just got changed. So this exists. This existed in Mason County up until just a couple weeks or whenever this was changed. It was even still on the maps. So if the citizens in the county can't see the racism that exists in their county and need someone from Bainbridge Island in a Kuye life leadership to advocate and to get this changed. Don't rain on us, piss on our head and tell us that it's raining. Don't do that. All right, what I want to do is, again, I will create another space for people that want to come in and give their thoughts and opinions on what's happened. But I want this here to live as the response from the girls and from the parents. Because this is what they ask for, this is what they need. And so we want to support and honor what they need. Another thing that I would ask is that all parties that have a stake in our children, whether it be the NAACP, our gyms and gents, Black Student Union, parents, friends, family, concerned citizens, come together and figure out how we can best serve our children. Because there's a lot of chaos that is going on in the background as multiple people are trying to advocate for our kids. And that's great. It's admirable. And I applaud it. And I think there's space for all of the above. Do all the things. But we have to remember that we are all on the same team. Friendly fire only serves to be divisive and unproductive. So whatever has happened to this point, my ask on behalf of the girls is let's everyone come together, either in a Zoom or in a room, and have a conversation. Get all on the same page and see how we could support our girls. And they've already said what they want, at least some of them. And if the other ones come on, then I will elevate their voices as well. but I am definitely for boycotting Mason County School District. I don't think any of our kids, not only in the Bremerton School District, but also in the CK, South Kitsap. If you're a school district in Kitsap County, you should be boycotting Mason County School District. All right, everyone. On behalf of the Bremerton High girls volleyball team, I am Marwan Cameron. This is the Conduit Podcast Network.